We will start the forum shortly. In the meantime, welcome to all of you that are connecting from all over the world. Welcome to the Global Center on Adaptation's Youth Adaptation Forum on Youth Entrepreneurship, Adaptation Jobs and Finance. We will start in less than a minute with a video that will be showcased to give you some information on what we are doing right now here at the Youth Leadership and Education Program. So please, Lauren, whenever you are ready.
We need a sub-goal in the global goal on adaptation that strongly advocates for youth inclusion and youth participation in every decision, as well as in producing the NAPs.
We're calling on countries to urgently step up to deliver on doubling adaptation finance.
Being there in the decision-making room is one of the challenges. Another issue is the issue of capacity. Coupling those finances with the skills. Many young people have the capacity to innovate, but then the legal capacity, the business management capacity sometimes is not there.
Finance obviously follows thereafter education, but entrepreneurship and decent jobs to begin with is key for our youth to drive adaptation, for them to see an incentive.
Thank you very much, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. Welcome to this Youth Adaptation Forum on Youth Entrepreneurship, Adaptation Jobs and Finance. And thank you very much to all of you being connected from all corners of the world. My name is Niccolo. I'm a Youth Leadership and Education Officer here at the Global Center on Adaptation Youth Leadership and Education Program. And today I'm very happy to host this forum on youth jobs and entrepreneurship on climate adaptation. I come from Italy and I live in Rotterdam since I finished my studies here in the Netherlands, and I joined GCA almost 2 years ago. And since then, I've been seeing the youth adaptation movement growing more and more. So I'm very pleased to see many of you connected today. For those of you that are connecting for the first time, the Youth Adaptation Forums are providing a platform that showcase best practices and try to amplify the voices of young people. And this is the 5th forum of a series of 6. Today, we have had more than 2,500 registrations from 142 countries and speakers coming from Kenya, Barbados, Philippines, Malawi, Cote d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe, Senegal, and Timor-Leste. And I take this occasion now to also introduce our co-hosts for this session, 2 members of the GCA CEO's Youth Advisory Panel, Nika Gerona from Philippines and Ashley Lashley from Barbados. I will give you the floor, please, Nika and Ashley. Feel free to introduce yourself.
All right, thank you, Nicolo. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Youth Adaptation Forum. I'm Nika Herona, a climate reality leader and also a UNICEF Youth Advocacy Champion from the Philippines. I'm also a member of GCA's Youth Advisory Panel for 2024, and today I'll be co-moderating this forum with Ashley and also Nicolo. I mean, it's fantastic to see so many passionate young people here today. We have an incredible lineup of speakers So I'm very, very excited for this session. So let's make the most of this opportunity. Over to you, Ashley.
Thank you, Nika. I do have the same energy as you this morning, and I am excited to see so many familiar faces here today. My name is Ashley Lashley. I'm a Barbadian youth advocate. I have my own not-for-profit organization entitled the Ashley Lashley Foundation. I'm also a UNICEF youth advocate, a CARICOM youth ambassador, and also I sit like Nika on the GCA youth advisory panel for this year. So welcome, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. And I'm looking forward to a thorough discussion today. Welcome, everyone. Back over to you, Nicola.
Thank you, Nika, and thank you, Ashley. And I would like to invite all of you participants to introduce yourselves using the chat box here on Zoom. If you are watching this live or on YouTube, LinkedIn, this is being live streamed. So use the chat. Tell us and the audience, where are you from? And if you wish, also what you're doing right now to be involved in climate adaptation. So share your thoughts also throughout the forum. Also, there will be a fact sheet made available online later this year, which will summarize all the inputs that we will receive from you from today's forum. And later, we will also share some information on how to join the Youth Adaptation Network. So please stay with us. And when posting about this event on your social media accounts, please remember to use the hashtag Youth for Adaptation. Today, we will hear from many young entrepreneurs and experts that will share their adaptation solutions. And also, if you are watching this live, you will be engaged through a Mentimeter session. So I would like to start this session by welcoming our speakers today, our specialists and young leaders. Today we have with us Aramide Abe. Aramide is the program lead for jobs and youth entrepreneurship at the Global Center on Adaptation. We have today also Joyce Sikweze. She's a Youth Adapt winner from the 2022 edition. She's a young lady from Malawi. We have Noel Ngwesan, who's also a Youth Adapt winner from the 2022 edition. Today also joined Patience Chatsaka. She's a Business and Cooperatives Development Officer at the Ministry for Women Affairs Community for the government of Zimbabwe. And we also have Pascual, who is connected today from the FAO offices in Dili, in Timor-Leste, today together with Q and Joanna from the FAO team, and also Diani Abewane from the University Cheikh Anta Diop in Senegal. So now we would like to invite you to participate in a Mentimeter. For this, I will leave the floor to Nika. So please, Nika, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nicolo. And now to kick things off, I'd like to, of course, hear from all of you first. So in this forum, we also wanted to, create an interactive and also inclusive environment where everyone's voice matters. So we would like to invite everyone to participate in this Mentimeter. So the Mentimeter is a tool that we will be using to gather your thoughts and also your opinions throughout the event. We're also going to be collecting all your questions asked in the Q&A boxes at the bottom of your screen. So please feel free to ask any questions throughout the forum using this function. And please go to menti.com and enter the code 2532571. You can actually find, I guess, the link on the chat and also the number. And yeah, so for the first question, we also wanted to know, what are the barriers to young people engaging with youth entrepreneurship and jobs in climate adaptation, particularly in your countries? So yeah, take a moment to reflect on this and share your thoughts in the Mentimeter or in the chat box. Over to you, Nicolo.
Thank you so much, Nika. And Lauren will now share the information on Mentimeter so that you can all see exactly. You can see your answers. I see some of you have already started filling in Mentimeter. You will find, if you have missed it, the code 2532571, and you can just join on menti.com to share your thoughts on what are the barriers to young people engaging with youth jobs and entrepreneurship in climate adaptation. And of course, also feel free to share your thoughts in the chat. And while we gather your input, your thoughts, I would like to give also the floor to Nick and Ashley. Maybe you can tell us more about what you think are the barriers for young people engaging with youth entrepreneurship and adaptation jobs. So, Nika, if you wish, please take the floor, and then Ashley.
Right. Thank you, Nicolo. So I think for young people in my country, in the Philippines, yeah, we faces several barriers when it comes to, youth entrepreneurship and jobs. So I guess one of the major obstacles in youth entrepreneurship in the Philippines is the difficulty in accessing capital and funding. Most entrepreneurs as well have limited financial resources and also lack the necessary collateral to secure loans in traditional banks. The Philippine government has also introduced some youth programs like the Youth Entrepreneurship Act, which is also kind of like mandated to implement a national program to help promote youth entrepreneurship development. This is also to help improve access to financing, but many entrepreneurs still struggle to secure the capital that they needed to start and grow their businesses. So I think it's more into the implementation of these projects. They have a lot of programs already in place, but the implementation is not really that effective. So I think we have to work on that in that aspect.
Thanks, Nick. Ashley, please.
Yeah, thank you. And adding to what Nika would have stated, coming from a small island developing state, funny enough, in Barbados too, we do have the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, which aims to support youth entrepreneurships in their areas. But one thing in which we've recognized is that a lot of youth entrepreneurs, no matter the they have lack of access to grant funding, and that's because they don't know of the opportunities that are available within the grant sector, or many entrepreneurs don't know how to write concept notes. And so there's a big gap when it comes to knowledge and skills due to limited education and training opportunities as well. Many entrepreneurs lack mentorship, which hinders their process for development. And there needs to be that regulatory and policy challenges, including complex regulations and inadequate support. But also when we are looking at this, we also have to look at the different social and cultural factors that are problematic in various countries. And then like the environmental challenges, like vulnerability to climate impacts and resource scarcity, especially coming from a small island developing state, are extremely difficult. So there needs to be that multi-stakeholder approach to addressing these barriers through financial support, enhanced education, and really supportive policies that includes mentorship and technological access. Thank you.
Fantastic, Ashley. Thank you so much for sharing this thought to both of you. So, as we heard, there is lots of barriers. There's a lack of resources, capacity. There's the need for mentorship and also for more education, among other things. So I think this is a perfect moment to move on the context session of today's forum. I will introduce you now to Aramide Abe. As I said, she's the global lead on youth entrepreneurship and adaptation jobs program here at GCA. Yes, she's leading one of the two pillars related to youth. So I think it's fantastic to have you here today, Aramide, and I will leave you the floor, and I will be very interested to know more about what GCA is doing regarding youth entrepreneurship and adaptation jobs in Africa, and also if you can tell us your thought on why it is important to create jobs for youth in climate adaptation. Over to you.
Hi, thank you, Nicolo, and hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here Welcome to everyone else who's joined, and I'm glad to see some of our Youth Adapt winners here on the call today. My name is Aramide. I'm the Global Lead for Jobs and Entrepreneurship at the GCA. Of course, that also covers youth jobs. Our mandate really within the program is to create adaptation jobs. One of them we do through the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, which is a partnership with the African Development Bank. We have two strategic business lines there. The first is scaling up youth innovation for adaptation, and my colleague Gloria will be speaking more to some of the results that we've seen there. The second is also mainstreaming adaptation jobs within investment projects of multilateral partners like the AFDB, the World Bank, IFAD, and so on. And in the youth, scaling up youth innovation, that's where we have the Youth Adapt Challenge. I'm sure many of you have heard about that. We've run it for 3 consecutive years now. This will be the 4th, where we support entrepreneurs, youth-led enterprises with funding, and capacity building, incubation, mentorship, and support for their innovation, their adaptation solutions, which is also why we have Joyce and Noel on the call today, who also speak to their solutions. They've been part of the program, the Accelerator program, where we train them, give them the necessary support to scale their businesses essentially. And so the output really is for them to scale, to recruit, hire people, to grow economically, partner or collaborate with other entrepreneurs, go into other regions. We've seen some of the results there as well. Gloria will be speaking to that. And then within the mainstreaming jobs program, that's a little bit more technical, where we're supporting the likes of the AFDB and the World Bank in ensuring that the jobs that they're creating within each of the projects in country where we support, some of them are adaptation jobs. So that's quite, an endeavor in itself. In terms of why it's important to create adaptation jobs, I'm really glad with the comments we heard from everyone, Ashley and everyone speaking about, the situation in their own local geographies, Philippines and Barbados. Globally, I think that the notion remains the same. There's a strong space and role for youth in the adaptation agenda. We've known that over the years as adaptation has had more and more of a voice. And so youth involvement not only fosters economic development, but also brings fresh, innovative perspectives on how to build more resilient communities. The youth are the future, and so if we're thinking about jobs to be created, who else are going to be hired in the next 15 years? It's going to be the youth. So essentially, we need to be able to create jobs. I like what Ashley said about the policies and the environment. The governments, and the multi-stakeholders need to be well prepared. So if you think about the government and the public sector enabling environments, if you think about the people who are going to be receiving or getting into the jobs, or you think about skills, even the private sector who create the jobs, funding and capacity. So it's really a multi-thronged approach. But essentially, it's really important to create jobs because the youth are more connected to their communities. Their active participation will help build the solutions that are needed to sustain or be more resilient against climate shocks. And of course, there's always economic development. So it's almost like a triple bottom line effect. You're not only looking at profitability or, just a general business way of doing things, but also sustainable impact as well. So there is always a win-win when you look at it on either side for creation of adaptation jobs. Nicolo, I hope I've been able to answer that question. Thank you.
Indeed, Aramida, and thank you very much for your contribution. It is very interesting to hear about what GCA is doing to create adaptation jobs and especially jobs for youth. And hopefully this will lead to better employment opportunities in Africa and also to developing a more climate resilient development in the continent. So thank you very much for your contribution, Aramida. I will now leave it to Ashley for the next session. So please, Ashley, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Patience Chatska. Patience is a business and cooperative development officer at the Ministry of Women's Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprise Development in Zimbabwe, who is dedicated towards youth empowerment. Patience, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today, and we're definitely looking forward to your insights. What I'd like to ask you is, can you present some examples related to youth jobs and entrepreneurship that are being implemented in Zimbabwe? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. As mentioned, I'm Patience Chatsaka from Zimbabwe, and I'll share with you the experiences that I've had with the youths. The first challenge, the first challenge or the primary obstacle that young people face in developing climate adaptation and youths have limited access to funding towards formulation of
I think we're experiencing some technical issues. Let's just give one more second to Patience and see if the audio is working. Patience, can you hear us now?
Okay.
Awesome. Please go ahead.
There is a need for collateral such as title deeds, which hinders young people to access funding, limits loan amounts, and creates risk of asset loss in case of failure to repay the loan. Can we move on to then the second challenge that the youths are facing is lack of experience and skills in entrepreneurship for climate adaptation. Lack of experience and skills is correlated to poor decision making, which adversely affects the strategy, finance, and operations of their businesses. It further makes it difficult to scale up, innovate, access funding, which increases businesses from poor business leadership skills. Then another challenge that the youth face, can we move? Another challenge is difficulty in accessing technology and infrastructure. Lacking the right and adequate technology affects productivity in terms of loss in efficiency and increased costs. It also hinders scaling up competitiveness and market research and reach. Then also, the youth's first challenge of limited access to markets and customers. Limiting youth sales opportunities leading to lower revenue and profitability, making it difficult for the businesses to grow. With limited access comes their inability to benefit from economies of scale, increasing costs and reducing competitiveness. Youth businesses therefore struggle to compete with established companies that have a stronger market presence. Brand visibility is a worrisome challenge, making it difficult to attract customers and talent. Then also limited awareness and understanding on climate adaptation needs and climate change denial. Besides youth, people are reluctant to adapt to climate change resilience means of agriculture as they are in denial of the current global change situation. Youth businesses, therefore, may struggle to their products or services to address climate-related challenges. Insufficient risk management may not adequately access and manage climate-related risks. Youth businesses may not have access to resources such as expertise, technology, and data to address climate adaptation needs. Then also reduce the resilience. Youth businesses may be more vulnerable to climate-related disruptions and less resilient in the face of climate change. Can we move on to the next slide? One major challenge that we also have in Africa is the politics of policies, that is bureaucratic and regulatory barriers. High startup registration costs and unending paperwork makes it harder for young entrepreneurs to launch their climate adaptation businesses. Navigating complex regulations and bureaucratic processes can be time-consuming, taking away from core business activities. Youth businesses therefore may struggle to comply with regulations, risking legal issues and fines. Restrictive regulations can stifle innovation, limiting development of new products and services. Then how can young entrepreneurs be supported in designing and implementing climate resilient solutions? The first thing is the issue of mentorship programs. It is very important that youths are mentored through the technical mentors and the business mentors, so that they'll be able to develop their businesses. Then also capacity building. It is very important that youths are trained and capacitated in business development, as well as climate resilient solutions. Then funding opportunities. As I highlighted before, youth face challenges of funding. So it is very important that grants and loans are offered to the youths so that they'll be able to scale up their businesses. Then networking events, connecting the youth with potential partners, investors, and customers in the climate resilient space. Then policy support, encouraging policymakers such as the government to create favorable policies and regulations for climate resilient entrepreneurship. Then also access to data, sharing of relevant data, research and insights on climate resilience to inform their solution design. Then also community engagement. It is very important that we encourage the community that they're involved and they give feedback to ensure solutions are locally relevant and effective. Then recognition and awards, celebrating and recognizing young entrepreneurs' achievements in climate resilience to motivate and inspire others who are in the same line of business. Then you also have collaboration with the private sector, universities, and colleges to leverage research, expertise, and resources. These are very key people to collaborate with. Then technology and resource support. It is very important that we provide access to relevant technologies, tools, and resources to support solution development. Then, what is the importance of providing finance to youth-led businesses? Um, it is very important to note that finance cover initial startup costs such as equipment, rent, and marketing that the youths may need. Then also funding is important that it scales up operations, products or services, and the youths may be able to enter new markets. Then cash flow management, it ensures timely payment of bills, salaries, and taxes. Investment in technology, as I've indicated below that above that youths face the challenge of technology. So it is very important that we invest in technology which enhances efficiency and competitiveness. Then risk management, due to a safety net provided for unexpected expenses and revenue shortfalls. Then lastly, growth and expansion, enabling business to achieve full potential. I think I've highlighted some of the challenges that the youth face and the possible solutions that we can implement. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Patience. Also to give an overview of the challenges and also some of the solutions that you have identified in your country and Zimbabwe and also in the continent. And we know that by 2030, there will be same time as the growth in the youth population. There will be a tremendous amount of young people that will enter the job market. So this is another reason why it is so important to discuss about providing young people with jobs, especially jobs related to climate adaptation and resilience in the times of such a climate crisis and also in times of this sort of population bomb that we are experiencing that some see as an issue, but this can also lead to so many opportunities for growth. So thank you so much for your contribution. I will now give the floor to Nika to introduce the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Patience, for that insightful presentation. Now let's hear from inspiring stories from young people who are making significant impact in the field of climate adaptation. So our first speaker is a dynamic female leader making significant strides in the business world. So hailing from Malawi, Joyce Sikwis is the co-founder and business development manager of Green Impact Technologies, accelerating the productive use of climate-smart agriculture, technologies, and organic fertilizers among smallholder farmers, and also was a winner of the 2022 African Youth Adaptation Solutions Challenge at COP27 in Egypt. Joyce surely has a remarkable journey to share with us. So, Joyce, can you tell us more about your work?
Thank you very much, Nika, and thank you to GCA for this opportunity. Well, today I'll be discussing our initiatives to empower communities in Malawi through the climate adaptation. So our efforts mainly focus on sustainable solutions to address the various challenges posed by climate change. Next slide. So Malawi faces significant challenges due to climate change, including spatial variations in rainfall, land degradation, droughts, and floods, as you can see on the slide. These environmental challenges have severe impacts on agriculture, water availability, overall community resilience, and also power generation of electricity in the country. Next slide. So to address these challenges, Green Impact Technologies has introduced initiatives such as solar water pumps for irrigation farming, solar fridges for post-harvest losses and post-production losses, LPG gas for cooking, solar home systems for electricity access, lighting, phone charging, and even entertainment for TV and radio as well. Production of organic fertilizer and distribution, and biogas as well for cooking. So each of these technologies is designed to provide sustainable and climate resilient solutions for our communities that we are serving. So one of our key focus areas is smart agricultural practices. I mentioned of solar water pumps, solar fridges, organic fertilizer. So by promoting techniques that improve water use efficiency and soil health, we help farmers to adapt to changing climate conditions. So these practices also contribute to increased agricultural productivity and food security. On the flexible payment, we ensure that our technologies are accessible to all our customers that we are serving. So we offer flexible payment options such as the pay-as-you-go. So this model allows customers to pay in small, manageable installments, making it easier for them to adopt new technologies and practices. So despite our efforts, we face several challenges as the company Green Impact, because there is limited adoption of new practices or the technologies amongst our customers. So as a result, we are raising awareness and educating these communities about new technologies that requires continuous effort and resources. So throughout our journey, we have learned valuable lessons. So one key takeaway being the importance of continuous feedback from our customers. So the feedback helps us to improve our products and services to better meet their needs. We have also recognized the need for digital training on the operations and maintenance of new technologies, because a lot of customers, we mostly target the rural communities, those who are not, in terms of education, they are low. So we mostly try to train these customers on how they can operate the technologies that we are serving, that we are distributing, and also how to maintain those. So this enhances the effectiveness and also the longevity of these technologies. That's right. So therefore, we recommend raising more awareness on new technologies and getting continuous feedback from our customers, which we believe is very essential for ongoing improvement and adaptation. Thank you very much.
Great work, Joyce. It's very impressive to see a young woman breaking barriers in the entrepreneurship space, and we indeed wish you the very best. Next, we'll hear from Noel Nigosan, who is also a Youth Adapt winner from the 2022 edition. Noel, I'd love to invite you to share with us what's happening in your country and what problems you face. Also, what initiative did you establish to impact our recommendations for young people based on your experience? So welcome again, Noel.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. So just to present a little bit the context of my country, or where I'm operating mostly is Côte d'Ivoire. We do have activities in the neighboring countries as well. But the bulk of our activity is about how do we create more value in existing agricultural value chains using existing material. It's called waste or biomass or whatever you want to call it. The point is to increase the value creation within these value chains. But where does adaptation come in is in the soil, is in the fact that farmers live on, the soil is their main asset. And unfortunately, there's definitely some challenges for them to increase the value of this asset, to make it more productive for themselves, but also just in general more valuable. So that's where what we do comes in, and we're seeing this. We have El Nino event. I think we're all familiar with this term. That's currently hitting us hard, and we had the hottest month in recorded in our recorded data this past few months. So this is impacting. You'll see in the news with the cocoa prices and so on. You'll see the cocoa prices have never been this high, etc., etc. So how do we use the organic matter to using things like compost, biochar, digestate to improve the soil water retention capacity, the resilience, and ultimately the farmer's well-being? And we can then see how I mean, yeah, a lot of things have been said already by the earlier speakers in terms of the population, the number of jobs to create, but this is the point. How do you make these agricultural value chains, rural areas attractive, so that you can, in fact, even reverse the trend from cities to these areas? So we do this, as you can see, with biogas, biochar, industrial composting, but it's always circular economy with biomass. So if we can see the next slides. The lessons learned is like waste is not free, because once you get into a business, it's no longer free. It's very important to factor that properly. Otherwise, we see so many businesses starting around waste management that assume the waste is free, and then they end up charging a very high price for the product once they see that the waste is not free, and this kills it. Farmers need to see what you're saying. Like right now, I'm sounding probably very clear, all that, but for the farmer, okay, it's all talk. So it's very important to be able to demonstrate to farmers. This is a big challenge because it costs a lot of money to do these demonstrations. No one's going to fund this with a loan, etc. This is a real blocking point. And then in terms of data, if you have to send samples to any other country, even if it's next door, it's too expensive. You need to be able to analyze things locally, have reliable results, have cheap, quick analysis. This is huge. So we had to do that in-house. You can imagine this cost us years of work, but this is what you need. Otherwise, you cannot really, you're always stuck somewhere, or you stay too small, and then the impact you're having is negligible. In the next slides, I think I'm done. I'm seeing that I'm running out of time, but very happy to be able to share more if you would like to reach out to me, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Noel, and thanks for sharing your good practice, your entrepreneurial initiative. You won the 2022 Youth Adapt Challenge, and it's great to see that waste can be seen not just as a mitigation, but also as an adaptation solution. So thank you so much for your contribution. I would like now to give the floor to Esther Agaja. Esther Agaja is a trainee of the Ban Ki-moon Center online executive training on young women leadership. This is an initiative led by the Global Center on Adaptation's Youth Leadership and Education Program, together with the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens. And throughout 2021 and 2022, we have empowered 60 young women from 12 African countries to develop their micro-adaptation project and to develop leadership skills on climate adaptation and knowledge on climate adaptation. So it's my pleasure to give you the floor, Esther, and to tell us more about your initiative, about the project that you conducted together with the Ban Ki-moon Center, and also if you can guide us more through your micro-adaptation project as well as the impacts of climate change in your country, Nigeria. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm so glad to join this call today. As said, my name is Esther. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm the founder of Eco Diversified International. I am a climate change advocate, a social impact entrepreneur engaging in impact project. So the major impact, as you can see on the slide, of climate change in my community that arose my passion to take action include drought, flooding, and a major aspect of it being food insecurity and lack of employment for women. So this the Green Acre Farm project was vetted after my work with the BKMC in 2021 to mitigate this impact by focusing on sustainable farming, prioritizing women farmers. So what we do is we teach them how to mitigate and adapt to these challenges. We provide them with climate education in local language because there was challenge of communication where some of these women are not learned, and then we have to get our resources from through the BKMC, and then we teach them in local language. We provide alternative farming options to them. We support them with adaptable crops. And also there has been issue of land grabbing among some of these women. And then we prioritize women who are victims of land grabbing. And then we map out land space for them so they can continue to sustain their livelihood and also be contributors in their home. Yeah, next slide. So a major challenge we face with our women participants was the lack of knowledge and adaptive strategies when they are hit with the effects of climate change. This we are working alongside with them to develop their understanding and encourage them on how they can also get involved. And a key lesson I learned from this project so far is the importance of continuous climate mitigation and adaptation education and strategies, especially to those who are first-hand affected by the impact of climate change. And to the young entrepreneurs who, through their solutions in solving problems that they face in their communities, through their impactful works that you are doing in your various countries, I recommend that you should share your knowledge widely and continue to create a powerful knowledge gap or knowledge chain for change in your community. Thank you very much. So I'm already out of time. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, Esther. And actually, maybe you can just tell us in a few more sentences your experience with the Ban Ki-moon training that you conducted, and if you have any lesson learned to share, and in general, if you can just share more about what you've been doing as part of this online executive training.
Yes, so one lesson I learned was the monitoring tools. I think this was also part of the care resources that was shared with us. It was a 6-month intensive training, more like a full-time job. And then my knowledge about climate adaptation was increased. And then I get to know that to mitigate is just like reducing this impact, but then how people need to adapt to these changes and the kind of strategies to need in adaptation is what is lacking in most of our communities. And through this BKMC training with GCA, I was able to develop my adaptation skills and then also share this knowledge with other women in my community.
Fantastic. This is very insightful, and thanks a lot for sharing, both for the training and for your project. It looks very promising, so I wish you all the best, and please stay with us. I will now give the floor to the next speaker, we will hear from Pascual. He's an environmentalist from Timor-Leste, and today he's connected from the office of the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization in Dili, the capital of Timor-Leste, and he's joined by Q and Joanna from the FAO office in Timor-Leste. So, Pascual speaks Tetum, which is a local language of Timor-Leste. So Q has kindly agreed to share interpretation. So please stay with us and please, Pascual, tell us a bit more about the Green Jobs for Rural Youth Employment project, and also if you want to share some more context over what is going on in Timor-Leste with regards to climate impacts. Please, you have the floor.
Yeah. Hello, Q. Good. Boa noite. Aninaram Pascual da Costa Fernandes, usi município Manufahi, posto administrativo Fatberlihu, usi Timor-Leste. Belornarup ia Timor-Leste, clear babebe. Belornarup katum produção aioris, especialmente acesso ba B, laos det aioris, mas B produção animal, aqui mos, nebe domina tamba Belornarup nebe afeta hahan ba animal sira. Mana, next. Uluk hau niatos mos afetado husi Belornarup no ami labele kuda ai Boris. Maybe how aprende no adopta sistema kuda aioris resiliencia. Agradece ba projeto Green Job implementa husi FAO. How consegue transforma how nia família nia todos ba todos nebe integrado no agora ba oi how sempre kuda aioris tinan mesmo durante tempo melhoronaro.
Okay. Hello, guys. This is Q from FAO, and I'm here to help Mr. Pascual in delivering his presentation in English. So his name is Pascual, and he's from the village of Patukai in Monofai of Timor-Leste. So he's been experienced prolonged dry season by year-round. In general, the prolonged dry season reduced the crop productivity of the nation, especially due to the reduced access to the water. And moreover, not only crops, but also livestock productivity was reduced as the prolonged dry seasons, which affected the feed supplies. Before, his family farm was affected by the dry seasons, and his family was not able to cultivate crops effectively. However, he learned and adopted the resilience farming system after joining the Green Jobs project of FAO, which is funded by the COICA. And now he transformed his family farms into integrated farms, and now he do farming year-round, even during the dry seasons. Can we move on to the next slide?
Mudançane acontece bahaunia todos integrado nebe construir ciclo natural no hasai produtividade pusi protege ecossistema rai nemo sai hanesan modelo bah hasai resiliência asoro bailor naro. Exemplo e halo mesa kadubu debe mak importante atu fo hang microorganismo atu protege rai. Hamos produz adubu husi regenerating recursos natural hanesan krauten dut no aitahan lokal no nomos microorganismo exemplo how utiliza adubo orgânico bahaunia tos no takarai hohare kain no mesmo tempo kuda pateca musa ou maneira idane how bele protege how nia aihoris usi bailoro naro. How consegue kuda aihoris horticultura liu uin sanulu. How organiza how nia tos hodi kuda aihoris ui. How fahe how nia tos ba zona 5. Nomos fahe ba subzona how utiliza adopta metodi coletivação, rotação, how consegue hasai produção de husi Halao Plancho da gestão RAI. Okay.
So, yes. So, starting from his family farm, he was able to improve his family farm to the integrated farm, which is built based on the nature cycles and increases productivity by protecting the soil's like ecosystem. This plays really important roles in building resilience against the dry seasons. For example, he produced organic fertilizers, which plays very important role to breed beneficial microorganisms to protect the soil healthiness. He has been producing fertilizers from regenerating the nature resources such as cow feces, various type of local grasses or branches, as well as local microorganisms. By applying those organic fertilizers to his farmland and then covering the soil with the like rice straws while planting his watermelon, like cucumber seedlings, he protected his crops from the drought by increasing the soil's ability to retain the water. Moreover, he had mixed planted more than 10 different horticulture crops. He organized his farm cycle of a variety of the crops. He divided his farmland into the 5 broad zones, and then further he divided various his like crop zones to sub-zones. By adopting a rotational cultivation method, he could increase productivity through balanced management of the soil healthiness. So can we move on to the next page?
Atu concluir how far how nia iniciativa impacto positiva tolo. Dahulu, how utiliza material nebe disponível e arrailaran bahau nia tos, inclui produção adubo orgânico. E ne how hasai resiliência bahau nia tos, laos det ba independência lokal nebe orgânico. Nebe mos hatung osan sai pengeluaran. Daruak ligado ao ponto primeiro, ao consegue fazer a produção, ao niato a sua maneira, hanesan rai nebe bokur. E cusliu, ao mos consegue fazer rendimento família nian, fazer rendimento laos de for benefício. Bahau, vai ver mos ao nia comunidade lihusi fahe campo serviço ba ema selu e a comunidade nialaran. Diak, obrigado, ba itahoto nia antesao.
Yes, so he recapped his initiative, like he mentioned about the 3 positive impacts of his initiatives. First is he used the locally sourced materials in his farm, so including the organic fertilizer production. So here he has increased the resilience of his farm by not only using local ingredients, but also lowering the production expenses. Second, in relation to the first point he mentioned, he was able to improve the productivity of his farm by managing the soil, the healthiness of the soil. Lastly, he was able to improve his family income. Increased income not only benefited himself, but also benefited his community through generating the job opportunities. And he would like to say thank you to you all for the attention. And now it's back to you, Nicolo.
Thank you so much, Pasquale, and thank you so much, Q. This was very brilliant, and thanks a lot for this contribution. And this really sheds light on a local agriculture initiative that is really being implemented by locals for a local context that is so badly affected by climate change, especially from a small island developing state, which is Timor-Leste, and it is so particularly sensitive to climate impact. So it is fantastic to learn more about how you are tackling these issues. And thank you so much also for the facilitation, Q and Joanna, and for making this intervention possible. Thank you so much. I would like to now move to the last panel speaker. We will hear now from Dieynaba Wane. Dieynaba is a student at the University Cheikh Anta Diop in Dakar, Senegal. And she attended the Changemaker School that was organized by the Global Center on Adaptation Infrastructure and Nature-Based Solutions program in Senegal a few weeks ago. And this Changemaker School, just to give some context, took place at the University Cheikh Anta Diop as part of the Climate Change Adaptation Project for Resilience Infrastructure and Nature-Based Solutions in Senegal and in West Africa. It's the PACHIR project. So it is my pleasure to give you the floor now, Dianaba, if you want to switch on your camera, and you will have 3 minutes to present your good practice. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Do you heard me?
Yes, we can hear you well. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jena Bawan. I'm from Senegal. It's a great honor for me to take part in this forum and represent my team. Today, I'm going to tell you about our initiative, Meteo Sentinel, a real-time alert system to better manage climate risk and reduce their impact on communities and infrastructures. As all we know, climate change is having an effect on fertility, causing variation in rainfall, prolonged periods of drought followed by heavy rain, and so on. These phenomena particularly affect agriculture, fishing, water resources, increasing the challenges for our country. Can you go to the next page, please? To meet these challenges, we came up with the idea of Meteo Sentinel. This project aims to strengthen meteorological monitoring and improve the availability of information. It enables us to anticipate and adapt response to extreme weather events. But like many entrepreneurs, we face considerable challenges, including lack of funding, training, lack of funding, limited access to training and resources. However, these obstacles motivate us to be more innovative and resilient. In conclusion, I would like to stress the importance of financing and support for young entrepreneurs. It's essential to accompany them through training programs, mentoring networks, and adapted financing. I encourage all the young people here today to continue innovating and seeking solutions to challenges. I hope that our initiative will inspire other young people to take action for a more sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dienaba. Thank you also for giving us some context
You're
on.
welcome.
Thanks a lot, and also to give us some more context on the project that you have developed with your fellow students from the University Cheikh Diop. So this was a very insightful session. Lots of good practices from all around the world. Lots of climate impacts identified, but it is very insightful and gives inspiration to see that so many young people are being engaged in their local communities, creating jobs for climate adaptation, and really pushing forward solutions for tackling climate impacts. So the time has come for hearing again from you. We would like to invite you again for another Mentimeter session. I will now leave the floor to Ashley so that she can moderate this segment. Please, Ashley, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nicolo. So hi again, everyone. we're inviting you, as you can see on screen, to go to menti.com and enter the code 2532571. You can also find the link and number in the chat box. And what's going to happen in this next Mentimeter chat is we really want to hear from you on what young people can do to engage with jobs for youth in the climate adaptation sector. So I'll answer that question again. What can young people do to engage with jobs for youth in climate adaptation? And Nika, as one of my co-moderators, do you have any thoughts on how can young people engage with jobs for youth in climate adaptation?
Yes, thank you, Ashley. Well, I think for me, young people should be engaged in continuous learning and training. In the Philippines, we have over like 4 million youth in the country, and I think only 39% of them are in the labor force, and even 40% are even living below the poverty line. So I believe enhancing skills is really crucial for employment. However, we also have to, talk about the quality of the like education as well, and if it's even available. So we also have to ensure that educational curriculums are aligned with the industry needs, emphasizing STEM and also green skills. And I think we also have to encourage partnerships between schools and also companies to also create internships, apprenticeships, sorry, programs, and also that would offer real world experience to young people and also mentorship. And I think it's also important to encourage young people to consider business ownership, particularly in social entrepreneurship, as we just has been discussing as a viable option in becoming increasingly important given the current trend toward globalization. And I think launching and participating in ventures that address climate adaptation challenges, young entrepreneurs can also contribute to sustainable development while also generating employment opportunities in their communities and to their fellow young people.
Thanks, Nika. And I totally agree. And some of the responses in which we see on screen is persons have indicated that we can undertake trainings where possible, which is very true. And young people utilize subsidies, collaborations with experts and mentors. They can gain the required skills and knowledge on adaptation and work in networks to enhance capacities. But also they spoke about the public and private sector that can be dedicated to finance at a subnational level that is tailored towards financing youth development. And earlier, Nika, you would have spoke about the youth entrepreneurship sector that your government has implemented also, but also using social media and other platforms to educate peers and communities on how to get involved and engage in networks with experienced individuals. And again, you touched on that when you did mention mentorship. But someone also said that youth should engage in continuous education, develop skills needed for adaptation strategies. And all of these are very great responses when we are looking at what young people can do to engage with youth entrepreneurship and jobs within the climate adaptation sector. And I think you would have also touched on it, and I think another thought that I would have to Nika and my other fellow panelists is that begin with small manageable projects too that can address local climate issues, and successful small projects can attract the attention and resources for larger initiatives. And I think we have another response on screen. Someone mentioned developing their skills in adaptation related to methods and taking part in adaptation initiatives. I think as young persons as well, the continuous development of our capacity to enhance our business and our network is extremely important for growth and development. And again, that is why it's important that education is one of the key components. So at this time, we want to thank you for your responses and recommendations. And I'll hand over to you, Nicolo.
Thank you so much, Ashley, and thank you, Nika, for moderating this segment and also for sharing your thoughts on what young people can do to engage with youth entrepreneurship and adaptation jobs. I would like now to give the floor to Aramide first and then to Gloria from the Youth Entrepreneurship and Adaptation Jobs program. As we are running out of time, please, if you can keep the intervention short and just give us some more insights on the key opportunities that are coming up from your program, please. My pleasure to give you the floor for both. Or maybe Gloria, you can take the floor and then thanks.
Yes, thank you. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gloria. I work with the Youth and Jobs team as a Senior Programs and Strategy Implementation Officer. So earlier, Aramide has told us a lot about our Youth Adapt Challenge and how we support the youth. So I'll just be speaking more on the second business line, how we support the youth, and then just give you some early results that we have recorded since the inception of this program. So the first business line is with the Youth Adapt Solutions Challenge, which we're very much aware of. This challenge is a competition, an award where we give entrepreneurs about $100,000 to help them scale their businesses, and they go through an acceleration program that is about 12 months, where they learn about business development, climate adaptation, marketing, and most of the solutions that I think Patricia had mentioned. So we empower youths with these skills through that program. And our target is usually youths within the ages of 18 and 35. And we always expect to have at least 50% of the youths being supported to be women, just to encourage women to come into this space more. And the second way which we do this also is by supporting multilateral development banks projects like the AFDB and the World Bank. So we support these projects by conducting labor market assessments in countries to see where adaptation jobs can be created. We provide those assessments and recommendations, and capacity building interventions. So for example, if it's an agri project, we look at the specific value chain, look at the gaps that currently exist, as a skills gap that currently exists within the country, and provide like a curriculum. So we also have a GCA Youth pre-incubator toolkit, which we use in building capacity for the youth, because knowledge gap is one of the major problems. I think like Esther mentioned, she was really on the mitigation side about going through the change maker school. She learned a lot about adaptation. So we use that toolkit to also support enterprises. And then enterprise creation, which is to help youth also create their businesses through, that ties also into what we do with the Youth Adapt through grants. So some early results that we've recorded since the inception of this program in 2021 is we've supported about 40 entrepreneurs, 40 youths or enterprises across 20 different countries. And they've been focusing on agriculture, water, waste management, and some technology solutions across these industries as well. And we've seen the creation of about 9,000 jobs, training of over 17,000 smallholder farmers in climate adaptation. And some of these enterprises too have recorded over 100% increase in their revenue because of the skills that they've gained, and also the grant that has supported them to scale their enterprises. And you can read more on the results. We have it on our website, what's called our impact reports. We have that on our website, so you can read in details. And we want to encourage all of you to be attentive. We would be launching our fourth cycle soon and would expect to see more applications from the youth that have been participating in this forum today. And you can also share within your network. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gloria, for these insights on the Youth Adapt Challenge and the other work that the Youth Entrepreneurships and Adaptation Job is doing. So thanks a lot for giving some more insights to the audience. And please go check the impact report and follow on the GCA website all the information on the Youth Adapt Challenge. I would now like to give the floor to Lauren. Lauren is my colleague from the Youth Leadership and Education team. Lauren, if you would like to introduce yourself, and then maybe you can tell us more about the upcoming initiatives that the program, the Youth Leadership Program, is launching in the coming weeks and months. Please, the floor is yours, Lauren. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Nicola, and thank you so much for this great session today. And thank you to all the speakers as well. It was a really insightful session and we've learned a lot from you all. My name is Lauren O'Neill and I'm a Youth Leadership and Education Officer here at the Global Centre on Adaptation. And I'm going to share with you more about the upcoming events and activities that we will be hosting throughout the coming year. So to start, we have the Youth Climate Adaptation Action Day. And this is a day where we invite young people on the 12th of October to participate, to create an adaptation action and to drive adaptation solutions across the world. So we will show you a short video on the day to encourage you all to participate, and then we'll let you know how you can register and how you can get involved.
Don't let climate change stop you.
Because we, young people, are unstoppable.
Let's show the world how young people are driving adaptation.
The Global Center on Adaptation is organizing on the 12th of October, the Youth Climate Adaptation Action Day.
Let's mobilize young people everywhere.
Because together we can make the world more resilient.
By planting trees,
creating roof gardens,
using music and the arts to raise awareness.
You can also participate in the design and implementation of your country's national adaptation plan or raise awareness on early warning systems.
Join us.
Join us.
Join the Youth Adaptation Action Day.
So as you can see, we will have so many young people from across the world joining us to participate in the day. And we're really excited to invite you all to participate as well. So you can join by finding out more on our website. We have a registration form there. And once you fill out this form, you will receive updates from us and you'll receive more information on how you can participate in the day. And the next event that we will have is the locally led Adaptation Forum. I will share my screen again.
Don't let climate change.
So here you can see that the locally led adaptation forum is the final in the series of 6. This will take place on the 12th of August. And again, we'll have many different speakers from across the world who will share their locally led adaptation solutions. So we're really looking forward to that event. And we hope that you will all join us there as well to hear more inspiring stories from young people across the world. And then finally, I would like to invite you all to join the Youth Adaptation Network. This is a network of 15,000 young people from across the world who are interested in climate adaptation and want to advance climate adaptation together. If you scan the QR code here, you can join. Every month we send newsletters full of information, opportunities, and ways that you can get involved. So we look forward to seeing you at all of these events. And thank you so much to everyone for joining today. Back to you, Nicola.
Thank you so much, Lauren. With this, we conclude today's Youth Adaptation Forum on Youth Entrepreneurship, Adaptation Jobs and Finance. It was a pleasure hosting so many speakers, and I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Aramide, Patience, Joyce, Brian, Noel, Esther, Pascual, Dienaba, and Gloria, and of course Lauren for all your contributions and the hard work you all put into these presentations. I also want to thank Celine from the technical team for her precious support before, during the event. And of course, also Anetta and Pauline, our interns that have supported the organization of this forum with lots of care and they've been truly remarkable. So we wait for you for the next forum on the 12th of August. I cannot close this forum by just leave the floor to Ashley and Nika so that they can also thank participants. So I will close for myself here, and I hope to see you all next month. And please, Nika and Ashley, if you want to close the session.
Yeah, for me, I just want to say thank you everyone for attending this session. I hope you get something from this session, and we had a meaningful discussion on youth entrepreneurship, job, and finance, and yeah, and I hope you guys have a good day today. Over to you, Ashley.
And from my end, again, I just want to say, thank you. We've learned a lot, especially as it relates to the true meaning behind climate resiliency and how youth entrepreneurs, especially those persons from underprivileged communities, can help build climate resilience in the entrepreneurship space through the enhancement of mentorship programs and more access to grant funding. So today's forum was very inspiring, one, with the panel. And two, we definitely learned a lot, and I wish everyone the very best in whatever you guys continue to do. Have a great day. Bye.